Hello, my name is Pastor Kevin, and welcome to another Inside the Grace Track podcast. And today, I think we've been doing these podcasts for about 4 or 5 weeks now. And if you notice, we've had a lot of people take Grace Track. And so today, without exception, another great person that we're going to interview, part of our church, and his name is Rod. And so let me welcome you, Rod. Welcome to the podcast, or I should say the video podcast. Rod, welcome.
Good to be here.
It's good. I'm glad you're here. And so I want to start off with, you and I have a lot in common. You and I have a lot of worries, and we worry about the same thing. We'll get into that. But I'm curious, when you were in high school, and for me it was years ago, and what dreams did you have? Did you always, when you were young or going to college, what did you dream of doing in your life?
My secret dream,
Your secret.
that I've never revealed, was that I wanted to be a professional football quarterback.
Are you serious?
Yes, and my parents wouldn't even let me go out for the high school team, so I had never played it down of organized football.
Wow.
I had the fantasy of starting to play when I went to college and maturing into a successful quarterback and then going on to the pros.
And so in your dream, what team would you be playing for?
The Colts.
Of the Colts?
Yeah, I would take over for John Unitas when he retired.
You know, the thing is, I had a dream too. And this is confession time. I had a dream of being a singer and a dream of playing the piano. And one of my favorite singers back in the 70s was Barry Manilow.
Okay.
And I used to think I write the songs like and all of this stuff. And I just, obviously with the tremor, and I have no voice whatsoever. I can't sing. But could you play the football? Could you play football?
No, my parents would never let. I just played touch football around the neighborhood, but my parents would never let me go out for the team because they thought I'd get my neck broken, which is probably true.
Yeah.
Because I was the same height as I am now, but I weighed 120 pounds.
Oh, good grief!
So I was.
that is like, so when you went to college, what did you go to college for? What was your main focus on?
There I was gonna major in music.
Okay.
And hopefully be a professional trombone player. So that was my second big dream.
Okay.
So I played in the band and the orchestra my whole time at university. But the world is full of talented people. Look how talented the worship team is.
Oh, I know.
I mean, they can all play several instruments and they play them well.
Yeah, you're right. And the thing is, do you still own a trombone?
No.
No.
No. I started up again maybe 15, 16 years ago.
Okay.
But I didn't follow through.
Okay.
That's interesting. One of the guys in my high school band is still playing, and there's a little local band in my tiny little hometown, and he plays with them. It's a band and an orchestra, and he still plays with them. My mother sends me the programs from their concerts. And
so not only that you had your biggest dream thrown away, then your second biggest dream, forget it. I can't be a football player and I can't be a trombone player. And so this has all happened in your first year of college, right?
So then I didn't know what to declare as a major.
Right.
And I had to take Econ 1-2.
Okay.
Which required general ed of all students.
Right.
And I thought, where has this stuff been all my life? This is fascinating. Everyone else is, it's too hard or it's too boring. And I thought, no. It's all the graphs and charts are really cool.
Oh, really?
So there, I had started I started a history major.
Okay.
And I'd added econ as another major.
Okay.
And one thing led to another. When I was at the end of my undergraduate, I thought, I don't want to get a job. I want to stay a student. So I applied to graduate school and away I went.
Wow. And you are a professor now, right?
Yes.
So how long have you been a professor?
45 years.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
45 years. And you're still you're still teaching, right?
Yeah, I retired, but the department invited me back to do a course or two,
Okay.
and I thought that's fantastic.
Right.
With the course, you've got a captive audience that has to pretend to be fascinated with your every word because they never know and they may need the brown nose.
Right.
Um, so
Would
I,
you consider yourself a a professor that people love, or would you consider yourself a professor that go, "Oh man, this guy's hard. Forget it."
it's interesting. I'm hard but supportive,
Uh-huh.
and so my evaluations are always really good. The students are really happy.
Oh, that's good.
They
Okay.
don't want to. They don't want a course where they just waste their time because it's so easy,
Right.
and they don't want a course that's impossible.
Right.
And I really had to struggle as a student.
Hmm.
So I'm very sympathetic to people who are struggling if they come to me right away.
Right. Right.
If they wait till way late in the semester, then there's probably nothing we can do.
Yeah, it's saying, "Can I have extra credit 2 days
Yeah,
before
exactly.
school's over?"
Exactly.
You can't
And
do it.
I tell them all the time, if I can do this, you can do it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And so let's go talk about in your relationship. Do you have any children?
No,
No, that's one thing you and I have in common. Did you want to have children at any point?
I never did.
Really?
No, I
Okay.
never. Um, yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. And it's
I,
funny because sometimes, I look back at my life and I go, man, it would have been difficult. Because you watch these people with children and you go, oh my goodness. Now I'm in my 50s now, thinking it would be crazy, to raise children nowadays. But you, before you met Gail, were you married before? Or
yes,
okay.
yes.
And so, how would you say that relationship? How long were you married prior to that?
About 20 years.
20 years. Okay,
Is that right? Let's see. Yeah,
20 years. Okay, that's
yeah.
how long Jennifer and I have been married, and so on, stuff like that. Relationships sometimes can be hard. I know for me, because I went through a divorce, and the guilt sometimes, and distress, and going, just the anger and resentment. Did you go through that kind of stuff, or was that just me?
Um, we had drifted apart before we actually split up. We were just kind of going through the motions.
Okay,
Um, so I didn't have any strong feelings one way or the other.
okay,
Um, I certainly could have done a better job. I must say, I've been thinking about that lately.
really,
Yeah, I was very uncompromising.
hmm,
So I had a long time of being a bachelor,
right,
and then I had no supervision at work, so I'm used to being able to do what I want to at work.
right,
And as a bachelor, I was able to do what I want to at home.
right,
Um, and I never saw her side of the story at all. Not never, and not,
yeah,
but most of the time I didn't see her side of the story. It was my way or the highway.
yeah,
Um, so
and
she had had it too.
yeah,
I'd had it because I wanted my way, and she's had it because she didn't want to give up her autonomy.
yeah, yeah. Do you notice that, like for me, do you notice in your second marriage, and you're married to Gail? We just interviewed Gail last week, so you can look at that interview. And she was telling how you guys met, and so do you think do you take lessons from your first marriage and say, okay, I need to learn from this, and I need to really apply it to my second marriage.
Absolutely.
So, what are some of the lessons you've learned in that, or because for me, it's constantly I need to say, okay, I need to learn from this, even if it wasn't my fault. And communication for me was a key thing because I didn't communicate. I didn't know how to communicate, and so my ex-wife just kind of emotionally just departed from me. And by the time I figured out, okay, we need to make this work, she was gone
Yeah.
emotionally, and they leave emotionally first, then they leave physically first,
Yep.
second. So was that the same thing with you?
Um, but with respect to learning from the first marriage, absolutely yes.
Yeah.
I'm much more willing to compromise and do what both of us want.
All right.
And then I constantly think about what a sweet person and how affectionate Gail is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was not the case with my ex-wife, um, but let's see, what else?
Yeah, Gail's beautiful. She's a sweetheart, and
Yep,
you did really good getting her.
I couldn't believe it was happening. I
Really?
Yeah, it's funny. She's told me she thought she was giving me a lot of signals,
Uh,
and I'm thinking I'm so much older. This can't really be happening to me. This can't be happening to me.
that's funny. What's the age difference between you guys?
17 years.
17 years?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm 12 years, 12-year difference. And, obviously the younger you are, the bigger difference it is. If you're in college and you're 12 years difference, that's just wrong. But the older you get, the more comfortable it is.
Yeah, I don't think it makes any difference because when we met, we'd already been adults for a long time.
Yeah. And usually when you're been adults for a long time, you get set in your ways. Both of you do it too. But I wanted to talk about because you have victories in your life, and then you have defeats in your life, and victories in your life, and defeats in your life. And one thing that you're very open about it, especially with me and people within the Grace Track, that you struggle with addiction, and I think it was alcoholism, correct?
Yes.
When do you think? And this is what I'm really fascinated with. When does one become a casual drinker to an alcoholic? Do you know what I mean?
Now that wasn't the route I took. The
Okay.
very first time I ever drank was the summer after my senior year of high school.
Oh wow.
A
Okay.
guy and I took a case of beer
Uh.
out into the woods, and we drank the whole case between the two of us.
Oh, good grief.
And I had what they call an alcoholic blackout, where
Okay.
you're up and moving around and you're communicating and so forth, but you're not conscious of it.
Right.
So I remember about the first hour or so of the evening, and that was it. And I woke up in the bush, in
Oh,
the
really?
bushes the next morning. And then where I went to college, everybody prided themselves on how much they could drink.
Hmm.
And so I would be sober all week, and on the weekend I'd get smashed. And be
Really?
sober all week again, and the weekend I'd get smashed.
Okay.
And that went on for a while, and then I discovered competitive rowing,
Okay.
and I was finally something here. See, I couldn't be a pro football quarterback because I wasn't coordinated enough. Plus, my parents wouldn't sign the forms anyway.
Right.
Um, but here was a sport I could be good at because you just have to be determined. It's like
Right.
running or swimming
Right.
or cycling.
Hmm.
You just have to be determined and you can be pretty good. And it was more important to me to be a good oarsman than it was to be the life of the party.
Right.
So once I started rowing, I completely quit drinking.
Really?
And that went on for 20 years.
Oh, so right out of high school, you were a binge drinker on the weekends,
Yeah.
then found something you totally love, then you didn't drink for 20 years. Do you remember when you started drinking again, or was it just didn't start? You just went for the case and blacked out again?
Um, the woman I was dating at the time was a real wine connoisseur.
Okay.
And we're at lunch, and she wants me to have a sip of her wine. And I say, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Oh, come on. Oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Hmm.
And when push came to shove, I broke down and had a glass. And then the next time it was 2 glasses. And then I was off to the races again. And then I had another period of 5 years, no drinking. And how did I fall off that time? I can't even remember how I fell off, but
Right.
another 5 years after that. And now I'm a little over a year again.
Hmm.
So Gail's nervous that I might relapse again. I
Right.
feel more at peace with myself now.
Right.
And that's the thing. I was using it as best I can decide. I was using it to convince my head that I had achieved all my dreams so I could relax and enjoy it.
Right.
And then also, like you said at the outset, we worry about stuff that doesn't really need worrying about.
Right.
And if I drink, I can shut off my anxiety. I think my anxiety is down pretty
Right.
well lately. So I
Yeah.
think I'm
No,
safe. But you don't want to assume you're okay and take off the training wheel.
no, you're right. And I think Rod and I, if you're listening to this podcast, our anxiety is over finances
Yep.
and it's money. And I remember preaching and doing a series on money, and I'm clear with struggling that I struggle with anxiety when it comes to finances, when it comes to retirement and stuff. And I think you and I talked about this. That I said, Rod, are you set for life? Are you set for retirement? Are you set? If you stopped earning any money now, you would be okay. And you said, yes.
Yeah, it's right now. I I did retire, and then they
Right,
invited me back, so
right.
I'm getting my pension.
Yeah.
My pension is more than my salary was, and I'm getting Social Security on top of it. And I thought to myself when that all started, I thought, now watch, you're going to start worrying about it anyway.
Right. And did
So
you?
I'm about 2,000 a month better off than I've ever been, and I'm worried about it.
Yeah. And that's,
I can't let it go.
yeah. And I don't get it either. I don't get, myself. And it could be the way we've brought up. I have no idea.
There's nothing I want to buy that I can't buy
Yeah.
because I have basically no material desires.
Right.
I don't need. I'm not. I mean, the money's piling up.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's interesting to you because you drive a Honda Fit
yeah,
and it's beat up.
it's paid for, but it's paid for.
Well, Honda Fit, how much is that? 12 grand, brand new?
You betcha.
so, so anyway.
Yeah, so the same with clothes. I don't spend any money on clothes.
Yeah.
The average American spends $1,100 a year on clothes. So somebody else is spending 2,200. They're spending mine and theirs too.
And so,
But I can't let it go. And
yeah,
it's just, and then the nice thing about the pension and the Social Security is it goes on forever.
yeah,
But every time I see an article, like in the paper the other day, there was an article about how the pension funds are sucking wind because of the big drop in the stock market. And
right.
I thought,
Start to
or a
stress
Social
out.
Security trust fund is going to be bankrupt in 2026. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh no, oh no.
And so let's go back to you're sitting in church and all of a sudden you hear the announcement about Grace Trek. And then, so what made you decide to sign up for that, to join in Grace Trek?
I just want to take advantage of everything the church has to offer.
Okay.
When I was going before Gail and I met,
Right.
I would go late, leave before the sermon, the benediction was given. And I just wanted to be there for the sermon, hoping it would help me.
Right.
And all my praying was gimme, 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 gimme.
Okay.
No gratitude prayers, which I should have been doing all the time because
Right.
I've been so lucky
Right.
in my life. But anyway, I thought this time I'm going to get involved in everything.
Wow. So that's how you signed up to Grace Strike. So when you went to Grace Strike, was it something you thought? Is it something okay, I know this is what I thought it would be, or was it completely different than what you thought Grace Strike was?
It was similar to what I thought it was going to be,
Okay.
but not identical.
So did you have any aha moments in that class, or did you just some moments that you go, oh wow, this is going to help me with my anxiety, this is going to help me with my addictions, this might help me with, or no?
Yes, I thought virtually everything we did would lead me to the kind of peace that would reduce my anxiety
Right,
and therefore eliminate my want to drink.
right. And so
Uh,
now
and
one thing that you and I also have in common is we seek validation from our parents.
yes,
And you and I have had some interesting conversations about that. Why is that a struggle with you? That 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 even our age, we still seek validation.
I would send the academic papers I write to publish in the journals.
Hmm.
Every time I got one published, I sent my mother a copy,
Uh,
even though she's no interest in mathematics at all. But
oh,
I wanted her to put it on the fridge, you know.
right, right,
I st- um, we crossed swords when I was a little kid because I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and she wanted to keep the household on an even keel.
right.
Um, but I don't know why. I don't know why we had friction. And then, of course, I moved 3,000 miles away when I got a job.
Right.
I wanted to be far away.
Hmm.
I don't know where it all came from. My upbringing, for the most part, was pretty much ideal.
Okay.
Uh, Dad was very supportive, very supportive. In fact, it's interesting when um, I was talking to my parents on the phone. They had two phones in the house, so they're one on each line.
Right.
And I admitted to them that I was an alcoholic. My mother hung up. My
Wow.
dad said, "What can I do to help?"
Now
Uh,
that's one extreme to the other extreme, isn't it?
Absolutely, I thought. And my mom didn't talk to me um, for probably 12 or 13 years. And when I went back for my dad's funeral, she would talk to me looking past me. So I would know for sure she wasn't talking to me.
Right.
But she didn't want to lose face in front of the other people at the funeral. So
Hmm.
she had to pretend to be talking to me. And then after a few more years in widowhood, she got lonely. And then she opened up, and we ended up the last 5 or 6 years of her life. We got along better than we had the whole previous period.
Really?
Yeah, ended up being very close at the end.
Did she talk to you? Did she tell you or give you a reason why in those over decades she didn't talk to you?
Never. I was just glad she was talking, so I never even pursued it.
You know, it
I
just,
think if she told my sister once, if you can't be the kind of daughter I want, I don't want to have anything to do with you.
oh,
But she
wow.
didn't talk to my sister for 20 years.
Oh,
But then they
that,
reconciled, and they were thick as thieves too at the end.
wow. Now, when did your mom pass?
It's been a year in that's I guess it'll be 2 years in September.
Okay. So pretty recently.
Yeah,
How old was she?
98.
That is crazy. 98
We
years old.
we used to joke that she can't get into heaven, and the devil doesn't want her either, so she can't die. She has to stay on earth forever.
98. You know, my grandfather lived to be 102.
My mom's dad, my grandfather on that side, lived to be 103,
Wow.
and her grandmother lived to be 105.
Wow.
So hopefully, I got those genes.
So the thing is let's go back to the gray strike because I kind of got carried away there. That when who was in your group? Do you remember who was in your gray strike group?
I really don't.
Okay, because I think it was Dennis and Susan was in it. Because you took Grace track, but you also took the emotional healthy relationship.
And the emotional healthy relationship, Dennis and Susan were there,
Yeah,
and Alan and Harriet, and well,
yeah. There was a lot of people. Jenny was there too. That was a
and
crazy class.
Fred.
Yeah, that was a crazy class because to me, everyone was. To me, the emotional healthy relationship class was almost like an AA class to me
I think
because
you're right.
it was very honest, very open, and very colorful at times. You know, of people just sharing and that, you know, doing that course. It was difficult. Is there any, anything that you do you remember if you got anything out of that class, the emotional healthy class?
It's interesting that the material on communication
Right.
was something that I had actually been working on,
Okay.
although we learned more than what I was working on, but I was headed in that direction anyway, and it really helped me to continue to make progress.
Right.
Um,
No,
so I can think of a myriad. I'm big on an AA saying is keep your own side of the street clean. Don't worry about the other people.
right.
You got to take care of their side of the street. You take care of your side. You don't have to judge them.
Yeah.
Tell them what's good for them.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
And so I was hopefully heading in that direction. Um,
So how long have you been sober now?
it's been a year since April 26th last year.
April 26th. So
Or excuse me, April 6th. No, April 26th, right.
April 26th, and we're in the middle of May now.
Yeah,
So
so it's a year and a month.
yeah, 13 months. And so the thing is, do you sometimes, what is it, a mindset? Is it something you constantly do, or when you control your anxiety, you go, oh, my anxiety is getting higher, I'm getting more tempted to drink? Or how do you go for 13 months without drinking? What do you do? To me, it was fascinating.
It's interesting. As I think about it during periods of stress, like we're just going through final exams and we're doing it online, which I've never done before.
Right,
And so I've got to phrase the test questions so that they're extremely clear, because we won't all be together in a room with me able to answer
right.
questions about could you clarify this question for me? And I'm not gonna be able to do that. So my anxiety's up, and I think, well, we have a little convenience store right here in the condo complex.
Uh-huh.
So I could just walk down there and get a bottle of tequila and boom.
Right.
So the thought has entered my mind, but before, when I would drink, about the first 30 minutes would be fantastic because I would just physically feel myself relax, and whatever was on my mind would just go away.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the day wasn't so good because alcohol is a depressant.
Right.
And so you get down and you end up just as worried as before. And if you overdo it, you have a hangover.
Right.
But lately, like last time I drank,
Uh-huh.
I didn't get any relief. I just got drunk, and I felt drunk, tense.
Oh, really?
So now what I do is I tell myself it's like grieving the death of somebody.
Mm.
So my old way of dealing with anxiety is dead. I have to grieve that. I don't have to say I'll never do it again, or I was foolish to do it, or awful to do it.
Right.
I just have to say that part of my life is forever gone.
Yeah.
It's not going to work anymore. And I've got to think of more productive ways to deal with my anxiety.
Yeah.
The church is helping a lot. I learned meditation techniques from a guy in an alcohol class,
Mm-hmm.
and that has really helped too. Just slowly physically relaxing your entire body,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a thought or a phrase or a passage that you want to recite. Now, for me, it's the 23rd Psalm. That's the greatest news ever.
Oh, really? The Lord knew.
The last was it. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I'll dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Right.
See, I can see that's the way my life went.
Right.
I had no hassles, really, my entire life. I haven't ever been fired despite having an alcohol issues.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to keep the same job for 45 years.
Right.
I loved the job. The job full time is 4 classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my classes all stacked on Tuesday and Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting essentially a full salary. and actually having to physically go to the university only 2 days a week. And the rest of my time, I could do my own research, or pursue my rowing,
Right.
or just read mysteries.
Okay.
So I have a charmed life. So my cup really runneth over.
Yeah.
And if I remind myself of that when I meditate every day, then the anxiety goes away.
No, that's neat. And the thing is, a lot of us forget about the faithfulness of the Lord, and you are a miracle to be alive this long.
Yeah.
You know, because the stories you've told me, I just go, he's a moving miracle. He's definitely a moving miracle. And you have a wife that, you know, when you did relapse, she fought. She fought for your sobriety.
Yep.
She did not say, you know, you're on your own. She got mad. She got frustrated, and I to me that it just shows you Gail loves you so much that it's
Yep.
not. I don't want him to get mad. She does not want to lose, and now because of the other interview that, you know, in a previous relationship before she met you, she lost a person through cancer.
Yes.
And so I could see her thinking, I don't want to lose another person, you know, uh,
Yep.
with alcoholism or cancer or stuff like this. Okay, last question, Rod. How are you dealing with this pandemic?
It's interesting. Like I just said, I'm used to going in 2 days a week and working mostly out of the house. So I'm actually enjoying not having to go anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this could go on indefinitely, and I'd be fine.
You know, you're like my wife. She's a homebody, and and there's a lot of people in the church that are homebodies that are having absolutely no problem staying home and being at home. Not me. I am going nuts. I like to do things. I like to go places. I like to do road trips. I like to do hiking. It's just driving me crazy. So I've had to majorly adjust to this.
We're allowed to walk, so I have been getting out for walks.
Right. Well, and the thing is, too, when you're walking with a mask, if you have glasses on, all you're seeing is one big fog on your glasses, and you hardly can breathe. But yes, I walk with my mask and do it. Well, one of these days we'll be back in church. I miss you, Rod. I miss seeing you
I
sitting.
miss the whole congregation.
Yeah, I miss seeing you sitting in the front row, because you and Gail sat in the front row most all the time.
See, that's part of my. Remember, I said before I would sneak in and sneak out.
Yeah.
This time I decided I'm going to be committed.
You can't sneak out very easily in the
front row
front.
is good.
And you actually read scripture. You actually participated in the services as well, and so it's good. So hopefully we can see each other face to face again. Thank you so much, Rod. I appreciate you being part of the podcast, and
Pleasure is all mine.
we will